Welcome back to the Brew Crew podcast, everyone. BCP 316 means I just kicked your ass, drank your ass, but that sounds dumb. I didn't do that.
I wish I would have had a Stone Cold shirt.
I didn't have. I thought it would be nice to have the soundboard, but I didn't have anything in the can, as they say, for what to say. I knew it was 316 all week because last week was with Stev, and I had to make sure I knew what episode it was because I didn't have you there to remind me. And then I was like, wait a minute, 316. Austin 316. My favorite.
First thing that came to mind, that's for sure.
Can you define your childhood in 3 people? I can. Ken Griffey Jr., Stone Cold Steve Austin. And who would the third be? I said 3 without thinking about it, but I think the third would probably be Travis Barker. But childhoods, I'll use that word loosely because I was already a teenager. Very influential.
So Brett Favre.
Ooh.
Hulk Hogan.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Could see that.
Who would be the third? I'm trying to go outside of maybe Richard Garfield.
Richard Garfield?
The creator of Magic the Gathering.
Ah. Nice. Did you ever watch that? This is for the fans, of course. That video on Garfield? Yeah, you watched it? I was joking about the fans thing. I thought I told you that, if anyone were to ever ask me, and no one would, because why would anyone ask this question? But if they were to ask me, what's the best YouTube video you've ever seen? There's a video that this guy breaks down Garfield.
Yeah.
And it's this existential thing, and it's the most well-made, most captivating video I've ever seen. And he basically discovers that Garfield is this dark-ass comic strip about basically...
Oh, you've talked about this. Yeah. Now you're jogging my memory.
Yeah, it's amazing. So you said Garfield, and it sparked my mind.
Yeah, you have. There's just a lot of videos that you've suggested over the years.
Yeah.
And most of them I haven't got to, but I remember that one as you were talking about.
Maybe I should create a Matt library where I just keep things for you when you have time.
It would have been the last week and a half I've had a lot of that kind of time. So this would have been the time to do it.
All right, I'm gonna write it down so I don't forget.
So we're away, and so we're gonna do 2 beers each. So there's a lot of beers, and then there's a lot of stories to get to. So I would like to go with the first crack.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm gonna go with my first one. This is Arbeiter. And that's one of the breweries I went to up here. They're out of Minneapolis. This is their Ha Pills. I bought this because it's a Great American Beer Festival gold medal for 2024.
Wow, brand new gold medal winner.
In the German style pills category. And this is a
which contest did they win?
The Great American Pills. Yep.
Hell yeah.
Great American Brew Fest.
The big one. The main one.
Yeah. And you can find out more. This was probably my second favorite brewery that I went to so far up here at Arbeiter. So ARBEITER brewing.com. And they're in Minneapolis, right off of Lake Street, which is a very busy thoroughfare up here. And that's going to be my first beer. JT, what are you drinking?
My first beer is going to be 903 Brewing, a brewery I don't recall ever having. And you had mentioned you have a beer. Have you drank any of their beers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is going to be Down with the Pastryarchy. I feel like we shouldn't joke about that. Strawberry cake cream ale. No, I'm just kidding about the joking. Down with the Pastryarchy, which autocorrect on my phone when I typed it to you was just nope, that's not what you mean.
It did, and I already updated the spreadsheet since you said that.
Oh, so it autocorrected your spreadsheet too?
No, all I had in the spreadsheet was Down with the Pastry. So then I just added Archy. Yeah.
Oh,
well,
really weird.
It's just getting my notes, getting your notes, updating stuff, getting the websites up. I don't think I'm going to do any website reviews. We'll see. We'll see how
Fine. It's fine.
Okay.
All right, let's do this. Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, this smells.
That's
good. I'm not going to do a website review, but I will at least say that they are from Texas. Seems very family oriented.
So the nice thing with Arbeiter, is I can go over a lot of stories because Arbeiter was our third brewery we went to last Friday. There was a few of us guys, and we decided to do a pub crawl. And we started in St. Paul, and then we worked our way back. So we went far away and then worked our way back. Arbeiter wasn't, and I was with Seth, who I've said before on this podcast, he's had 13,000 beers, and he's just a beer hunter, if you will. He's always 13,000. Always after whales.
What's
13,000 unique.
Some sort of routine schedule there on these beers, like 13,000. That's so many beers.
Well, he signed up over 10 years ago and is a lot more like we were talking about beers earlier, and you said one that you were thinking about doing, which I've had. I even described to you the can. Sometimes I'm terrible about putting stuff in Untapped.
No, you're awesome about doing it. I'm terrible.
Even up here. So Arbeiter, the reason why I say this story is Arbeiter, they're like, they're up and coming. Mm-hmm. So we get there. They're like Belgian, and they're big, dark, heavy beers that aren't stouts. Were all home runs. They're all like 4 5s and up. They had a few of them, so I bought those. Their singles on those are pretty pricey, but I bought 4 packs. So the second beer I'm going to be doing is actually from Arbeiter. And that's going to be an IPA because, again, JT and I go places. We're going to order an IPA. I just wanted to order something that was a little different than what we do. That's why I got the German Pils.
Awesome. Well, I got the cream ale because, as we've discussed, I like cream ales. I think that is a underutilized category of beer. I think that the base palate, like a sour, the base palate of a cream ale is very workable. It's like Play-Doh. You could do a lot of things with it, and very few places try. So we have Mother Earth, who I proclaimed to have the best cream ale, 5 out of 5.
Yep.
Kelly Creven. I try all the cream ales that when I see them. That's why I chose this one. And obviously, strawberry in beer can be super hyped, or it could be really under-delivered. But wanted to see how they did that.
The best strawberry beer, I mean, it's a tie. We've had them before, but is that strawberry rhubarb from New Glarus? It's really tough to beat that one. And then there was that other strawberry one we had on the pod. Was it January last year that we both?
Also, yeah, it was episode 238.
You know the one I'm talking about, right? That was January last year.
Somewhat.
Dang it. It'll come to me. That's what happens when you try to do stuff live.
Strawberry Pils?
I don't know if it's a Pils, but strawberry is often attempted and not too common where it's a home run.
Yeah, often attempted, often failed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, home runs are hard to hit.
But I will. This is for a Pils, a no frills Pils. This is quite good. I can see why it's a gold medal winner. This is going to be a good crowd pleaser across the board.
Yeah.
Their program, they're relatively young. I wish I would have had that ready. I've got the website up. Arbeiter hasn't been around. It's a good, clean website. Like I'm finding the about in real time. God, of course it doesn't have. No, it just has the crew from our flagship. German word meaning worker. Yeah, it doesn't say how long they've been around. But there was another brewery in that location. My buddy was giving me the history, and there was another brewery that was in that location, and then Arbeiter took over when the other brewery failed.
Okay. That makes sense. Good, just take over the shell.
Just a couple of years.
Yeah. You have me thinking now. So it seems like sometimes we see these gold medal winners. We see the bronze medal, silver medal, whatever.
Yeah.
We try to point it out when it's on the can. I wonder how the scoring process takes place and if any of the judges have influence over each other. Like if they know that the other judges are what they're thinking, if they have conversations like this, that'd be interesting. And 2, I wonder if we lined up the beers, if we would agree. Now, when you have it on its own, it's hard to know, but it seems like they got the Pils right because you really like it already.
Yeah.
But sometimes we have some of these gold medal winners and we're like, what the fuck were they thinking? But maybe some of the criteria is like uniqueness or, approach, and it's not really all flavor. I don't know.
I'm 85% confident that they do it as blinds. So they'll have it and they do it outside of the influence. Kind of, I mean, how we've always done it, like, you know, write down scores. Right. Yeah.
But I wonder if we would, how we would do compared to the experts in these categories.
I would do quite poorly.
I think you'd do well. But I don't think it's actually, I'm going to scratch that. It's not about good or bad. It's not about matching up against them. I wonder, our opinions are much like the guy who drank 13,000. They're ingrained based on our experience. They're like AI. They're trained on our historical data.
Yes.
Those guys are good at tasting that one beer. A lot of times, I did look this part up. Different experts will rate the different beers. You want the best. They don't just have like a room of like 6 guys who drink all these beers. They have, guys who specialize in it, and or girls. And I feel like our history and our ability to kind of think about the beer for a while, even though we don't know the brewing process as well as a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
It would result in a different ranking system of the same beers, but I think it's still valid. It's still a valid ranking system. Just because you are against the experts doesn't mean it's not valid. Who's to say we're not experts? We're experts for drinkers like us, which is probably a much larger subsection of the population than those who are extremely knowledgeable in wheat ales, or
wheat
brown something or others,
I misspoke. He's almost to 10,000 uniques. He's at 13,000 check. Oh, 12,000.
High, impressive number. I just wonder, like,
he wanted to get to 10,000 this last weekend.
Thinking the difference between our numbers.
Yeah.
How frequently you have to drink a beer.
And keep up on it. Is
he a sipper? Is he a flight buyer?
He's a flight buyer. So this came up.
Without it.
This came up, but in Untapped, it allows you to mark stuff as tasters. That was a recent ish change in like the last 3 years.
Okay.
But a lot of them are tasters. He is a badge hunter, kind of like an achievement hunter. And
gamification. It works.
Yeah, he was going through my achievements and seeing like if there was any that I had that he didn't have. That's the one thing I will say. I didn't get any beers from them because they're Minnesota's oldest brewery. It's called Jorg, which is, but they don't brew their own beer. But their Belgian program. And what I mean is, sorry, Stacy, I don't know how they order. We were talking to the owner for a little bit, and I wanted to get him on the podcast. Like I did do a live. I did a short from there, and when I did the other 2 places. I didn't like either video, so I didn't post them. He seeks out from different distributors across the country, and you can buy bottles from $2-3, and he's got bottles of beer there. I almost bought like one of the Magnums, bottles of beer upward of $300 for a bottle.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. If you're ever up here, or the highest recommend, it's an awesome space. It's like an old tiny house that is just bar. It's got a really low overhang. It's got an over bar. It's just fantastic. Come up to York and St. Paul.
Yeah, go to York.
They don't produce any of their stuff anymore, but they bought. York was the oldest brewery in Minnesota. It was established in 1848. They didn't make it through Prohibition. So when they opened up York, they bought the name from the York family. So it's called York Brewing, but they don't do any brewing there.
Okay. Makes sense. Damn Prohibition. Shut them down, man. Crazy.
But at the second place we went to is called Falling Knife. Everyone said, and the group goes, they've got great pizza. Kiss of Death. We've talked about this before.
Yep.
Kiss of Death. The best staff. Amazing. They like delayed our order a couple of times. They were like, hey, your first drink's on me. So that was pretty cool. The pizza was pretty good, but again, they had a food truck. The beers had a smattering across the table. All of them, you could tell that they're a little bit younger. Falling Knife, great name, but everything was pretty derivative.
Well, can't win them all.
Right. Just a ho-hum space in an industrial park. And they had started in 2019. So right before COVID.
Yeah, and they made it. That's good. I don't know what I'd do if I like work. Just I've always wanted to start a business, but if I did it and then immediately following that there's a pandemic, that would fucking suck.
Can we talk about brewery culture for a second? Because this has happened to me multiple times up here. This might, and I don't want to gild the lily on this story. So 2 situations. One, we were at Jorg, and I had ordered what was at that time a pretty substantial beer. Mm-hmm. And there was a couple, we were on the edge of the bar. So we were sitting on this, there was a corner, and there was this other couple. Let's put them in their late 60s, early 70s. And they were very interested because the bar was dead. We got there a little after 3. And she was very interested in the beer. So we hadn't talked at all. So I just asked the bartender, I go, hey, can I just get another glass? And this happened to be a sour because they're... Sorry, Stacy. I sent JT a couple of the pictures of the lambics and sours. Mm-hmm. So I just poured what was, again, a substantial bottle, and I just handed it to them. And they're like, really? Like, I was like, yeah, it's woe is me to describe it to you. I would rather you try it yourself. And that was exclaimed because it was a $7.50, and Seth goes, that's too much. Mm-hmm. The guy that orders flights and then the guy that just orders, bombers of everything. Mm-hmm. And I did that. So now we made friends, exchanged numbers. Yeah. And again, I might not ever see him again, but I let him know that I was going out yesterday, and they responded, okay, we're staying in for the Super Bowl. Is that a brewery culture thing? Just pouring something off of your own bottle and giving it to, or is it a Midwest thing? Because I have theories.
Oh, great question. I actually don't know if it's either of those things, because it's unusual to have a bottle at a bar, like at the bar, especially in craft beer world. Yeah. And if you're not in craft beer world, why would anyone want to taste your beer? Because it's Bud Light or Miller Lite or whatever. Definitely. So the Midwest is by far, in a way, the most hospitable part of the country. I don't care what they say about Southern hospitality. Not everybody, it doesn't go across the board, but the Midwest is the most accommodating to guests, from my experience. Been all over the country.
Yeah.
So I would say that it's probably a Midwest thing. It's the bottle that's throwing me off. I could see, because if you had a glass, I don't think they would even entertain the idea of trying it as strangers.
Yeah.
Maybe after an hour of conversation, I could see maybe a sip.
We ordered quite a few bottles there, and that wasn't the only one. I gave them the next bottle that I had. The beer that I had was a revelation, was that black pepper cherry one that I sent you. Mm-hmm. That was from Timmerman. Timmerman has one of the best sour lambic programs in the Benelux countries. Talked to the owner about that, and I go, I would buy you out of this right now. And he goes, typically I don't do that, but I go this, and he goes, this is like a 1950s cherry cola, because it's got like that sharpness, but it's obviously black pepper. Mm-hmm. That beer was an absolute revelation.
Yeah, that seems like such a weird blend.
It works so well. So the second story, so I'm with you. I think it's much more of a Midwest thing, but it's a very unique situation where a brewery or a bar would handle you the entire bottle.
Yeah.
But like we've shared, you and I have both shared, like when we go down to Barrel House, and that's just.
Oh yeah, but we know each other.
So like single serving friends or whatever. So yesterday I was at a neighborhood haunt called the Cedar Inn, best wings around. And the couple behind us, I told myself I was going to leave at 3, and they're older too. They were in their late. They might be watching. So hey, Macy and Jay. Because they were watching on YouTube, like when I was sitting there telling them I do a beer podcast. And
it's not normally like this. We usually are together.
Right? Yeah. I said to listen to last week's. I go, last week's was a banger because I wasn't on it.
No.
And so we found out we are sinking vacations. They're going to be on an island that we're going to on our cruise at the same time. So now we're trying to coordinate going to the beach, or there's gondolas. It's St. Martin.
Yeah, gondola. I do that.
But we've already exchanged phone numbers, and her and her husband are just an absolute delight. So
hey, you're so good at breaking the ice, man. How do you do it? How do you break
and they were sitting right to my back because we were on high tops. It was just interesting, and they're just again just approachable, just having a good time. And the Cedar Inn, out to Cedar Inn, just it's as divey as it gets while still being like elevated.
Do you wait to hear something that resonates and then you respond to it, and that's how you break the ice? Or are you breaking the ice totally randomly, knowing that this is somebody you want to talk to because you've heard some things they've talked about?
Both. The first situation was different because they commented on the beer. The second one, because we were back to back.
Yeah.
How did we break it? Again, I stayed for hours just to talk, and I was with another buddy.
You're so good at that with strangers.
I didn't even want to go out yesterday, and I was like, hey, and I even told them that. I was like, and then I came back and immediately went to bed.
Yeah.
What did we talk about? I can't remember what broke the ice.
Right.
That's a good question.
See, I don't want to talk to strangers. That's my problem. I'll talk to them, like, if I overhear something that's like super relevant to me, and I could like actually, and I could do one of those, not correct them, but I just know about something. I'll do that. But I don't want to talk to strangers. Someone the other day was talking about beer. I was out somewhere, and I knew exactly where they were going wrong with their assumptions. I can't remember what the exact conversation was, and I wanted to jump in, but I was like, I'm good. I'm good here.
I'm good. See, this is where you're much more of an endearing long-term person. Me, after about 3 weeks, I piss off half three-quarters of the people I meet, and then the 25% of the individuals that have stuck around this far in my life, I appreciate and love you, but I've wasted so many friendships just by kind of being a polarizing jackass for most of my life.
I don't think it's being a polarizing jackass. I think that once you've established a relationship, which could take 3 weeks, then you have expectations.
Yeah.
If you never had them, you would have all those relationships. And it's okay to have expectations because you want to keep the relationships that, are most, that you want to invest in as well. I get it. Sometimes the expectations on time in particular, they get on my nerves, but it doesn't mean we're not friends.
And people will say, oh, this for me is completely different than like I ride on planes 10, 12 times a year. I don't want to talk to you on the plane. That's my time to chill out.
Leave me alone on the plane. Yeah.
Yep.
Sure. Don't talk to me on the plane.
I don't care. I'm wearing headphones. I'm zoned out and playing a game or watching a movie or something like that. Like that's my time. But like in a bar, like, oh yeah, I have no problem talking to the bartenders or whatever. Obviously, Better Matt and Sarah and, like extended family members at this point. But there's other situations. It's like, oh, he's just a chatty individual. Obviously, we've done a podcast for 7 years, but it comes and goes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I would be there's like always that like loner at the bar. I'm not even a loner, but I could definitely see the appeal of just going to the bar and sitting by myself. Like sometimes you got to decompress.
Yeah.
You just need to think about life and work and all this other stuff. But you want to do it having a delicious beer. I don't know. People probably think like I'm just like this depressed dude, but I know I'd just be sitting there thinking thoughts. You're totally opposite. You want to socialize at the bar.
It depends. But yes, most of the time it's, and then that conversation is what keeps me there longer and then leads to bad financial decisions. One thing I will say about Cedar Inn, JT, it was Sunday. I didn't have a koozie on me. I asked the bar, and they just gave me a free koozie. I said I would pay.
Look at that.
I said I would pay for it, and they didn't have Cedar Inn doesn't have their own koozies, and the owner was sitting at a table next to us, and my buddy, that's like his haunt. He's like, oh yeah, no, Aaron pumps enough money into this place, so you guys, Chuggalo Aaron up here, Chuggalo Minnesota Aaron, he goes here, just take the koozies. So
nice.
So again, and me, and
yep,
even at my desk, I got
look at that
fat stack.
A lot of koozies.
I have thoughts on this beer.
Yeah,
is it okay if I go first?
Yeah, please do.
All right. So it's like stained glass window. I don't do can art. but it's there. I'm almost done. I've got one drink left. This is a smooth operator. Pilses aren't my thing, but if you like pilses and German purity laws and everything, this is going to be right in your wheelhouse. Off the top rope, I'm going to give this a 4.25. This is something I would keep in my fridge for people like Chuggalo Dave and Chuggalo anyone that's over the age of like 50, because now I'm getting up there. This is just a smooth drink, and they can still participate in the craft beer revolution. 4.25.
Hell yeah, that's a good score for a Pilsner. That's like a 5 Pilsners.
And yeah, in Pilsner land.
Yeah. I got my thoughts on this. So here's the can art boner segment, and it is.
I did like Stev singing.
He knows the song by heart. There it is. It's some strawberry cake, not shortcake, regular cake with vanilla frosting. It looks like. Yeah, down with the Pastryarchy, and the Pastryarchy is in the cake. There it is. So that's the can art. The name is definitely interesting. It reminds me of, I don't know if this is a bad thing to talk about, but yesterday during the Super Bowl there was Ray-Ban Meta commercials. During the Super Bowl, you remember you didn't watch it. So nope. Meta and Ray-Ban have teamed up for smart glasses.
Oh yeah, the glass. Okay.
The problem, I mean, it's not a problem, and these commercials are planned way in advance. But the guy who did that terrorist attack on Bourbon Street, he scouted Bourbon Street with the Meta glasses.
Jeez Louise.
So it's weird. And right before the Super Bowl, they had this Lady Gaga song, which I'll be honest, people might have a different take on Lady Gaga. I don't think she gives two shits about people in general. I think Lady Gaga is super
aloof.
Just elite, just an elitist. I don't know. I think not aloof, the opposite. I think she purposely doesn't care about people, but maybe I'm wrong. I just get that vibe from her. I'm not sure why, but she did a sympathy song in Bourbon Street. I didn't know 16 people died. That's way more than I thought died on that terrorist attack. But anyway, the Meta glasses thing, I was like, oh, that's weird that they do a commercial for this. Seems too close to home. Because the Super Bowl was in New Orleans, for those who don't know.
Yeah.
But where was I going with that? No, I don't remember.
It was odd that Tom Brady was the only one not wearing. He was wearing an LA Fire Department shirt.
Yeah.
I did see that performance.
Yeah, I did see it, and I did think about it. The LA Fire Department thing.
Lady Gaga's eyebrows really took me out of the moment. She had them dyed or colored.
Yeah. Lady Gaga, her voice is incredible. I think that I just need to learn about Lady Gaga more.
Shallow's a fantastic.
It needs to be on a different person. Yeah. I don't even think she's shallow because I think
the song from
the song was shallow. I don't know anything about.
The song "Shallow" from A Star Is Born with Bradley Cooper. It's fantastic, and I don't like musicals, but that movie's fantastic.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it. Yeah, so I feel like putting Pastryarchy on here. It's this serious subject that women, activists, and anyone who wants to go down, get rid of the patriarchy, probably would be like, what the fuck? This is on a beer. But I'm not like that. I don't care. I'm not woke, as they say. I think you should be able to make jokes about anything. After all, humor is fun. So that's the can art.
Did you watch day one of the HEB Center? It just came out for Kill Tony.
But I have it bookmarked to watch. I wanted to watch a different one first.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was. It was probably the worst Kill Tony I've seen.
What? Oh, the Gabriel Iglesias, the Fluffy episode's really good. Fluffy really cares about people.
I don't like that guy. So I watched his Joe Rogan and I was like, this guy's kind of dumb. But
he cares
about his comedy, but if he's good on Kill Tony, I'll watch it. Yeah. I've been avoiding that episode. The one I watched that I just thought was not funny, it was Ari, whatever.
Ari Matty, the Estonian assassin?
No, the other.
Ari Shafir.
Shafir. And
he's been on.
Sophie guy. It wasn't one with Shane Gillis.
He's been on 3 of the last 5. because
he's been on a lot. I think he retired or something, right?
No, he's pushing his special just released.
Okay.
American Boy or whatever. He actually produces a lot of comedy specials too.
Yeah. Oh, I think he's funny. He's over the top, but he's funny. But it was actually just this. None of the comedians were that funny. It was just weird. Anyway, so I haven't watched it yet. All right, this beer, the strawberry comes through. It's really good. The cream ale comes through. That's also really good. I think they have a good base. The only problem I have with this is I'm not sure what ingredient we would call the alcohol base. It would be the cream ale, really. It tastes cheap. If I could
cheap?
Elaborate, like some hard liquors, the alcohol, you could tell that this is just not the same quality. I'm not saying this is a bad quality. I'm saying that in the nose, the alcohol comes through like nail polish remover.
Interesting.
And it might be because of the chemical interaction between the strawberry flavoring and the cream ale itself.
Yeah.
Or the yeast and the alcohol and all this other stuff.
Yeast.
But that's the one off-putting thing about this beer. I think if you fix that, maybe, I wonder if there's vanilla in this. Amp up the vanilla. I think you got something here because the strawberry's done well, and that's like we said, you can do either well or bad, and there's nothing in between. You did okay. So they did the strawberry well. The cream ale's good. It's just that alcohol on the nose, like on the breath coming out. It's just like, oh, I don't like that. But it does have, I forgot to mention this with the can art. It has the glassware, so pint glass.
Oh, yeah.
And then it has the pairs with cold milk, ice cream, and girl power.
Girl power.
I don't know how you pair it with girl power. I'm not one to have that. But it does pair well with that. Cold milk is an interesting one. That's interesting. I wonder, what was the thought behind strawberry cake cream ale, and girl power, and patriarchy and stuff? Is a strawberry cake a very feminine thing?
The color, or it's just like baking? I don't know.
But when you're talking about women's activism, you're usually avoiding pink.
Yeah.
Anyway, maybe I'm overthinking it. This beer is a solid 3.75.
3.75.
Yeah,
document that.
It's there in the Aether of Fine, of good beer. Not fine, it's good.
That's an
episode. It's not
title.
great. Yeah, I think there's a lot. The Aether of Fine.
Yeah, I like it. I just got a document. I got another story for you as I reach for beer number 2.
I want to hear it.
It's also from Arbeiter.
Ooh,
this is obviously
Arbeiter.
So this is Dip Check, and it's a cold IPA, 7%.
Sounds great.
For the hopheads, it's Amarillo, El Dorado, and Mandarina Bavaria. So that's a new one. We'll put that on the Aether of IPA list that we don't keep track of, or the hop list that we don't keep track of, but we should.
Hop list.
Hop list. If you say it fast enough, it sounds like something else. What's your beer number 2, JT?
My beer number 2 is 450 North, of course. And Donuts. I almost said M Donuts. Donuts is Simpsons-esque can art there. It is of course, a slushy XL sour ale.
Yep.
With glazed donuts, raspberry, and raspberry jelly.
So raspberry and S-tier fruit, and there's a little bit of drama in this beer because I've had this and I've gifted it to people. I didn't check it into 450, or I didn't check it into Untapped.
You didn't check it in, and you didn't gift it to me. So drama. No drama.
I will say this, that I just checked into it now, and being an Untapped insider, I'm able to change the time that I had the beer, so it doesn't look like I just had it today. I've also three of my connections have now spurred by my insider status went and paid for insider for themselves.
The insights that you've delivered about you are an Untapped advertiser. You're the Post Malone Shane Gillis pairing.
Post Malone.
Untapped.
Crave it.
Post Malone is to Bud Light, and I will admit, Bud Light, they got a long road ahead of them, but Post Malone is a step in the right direction. Shane Gillis is a step in the right direction. They had some good content yesterday.
Well, Shane Gillis is, justly so, is setting the world on fire. So
he is very funny. Yes. Right. You ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. And I did roll this while off camera. People weren't looking.
So I got a 450 story for you, JT.
Let's hear it.
Coming up here for a couple of weeks, I brought the predominant amount of beers that I brought was 450. So I took and did a 450 assorted pack for my 2 coworkers, and I gave them Warped Wing Killer Brownie. So they each had their 4-pack, and then they each had a Warped Wing Killer Brownie, because the one, Chuggalo, Katie, both of them did advent calendars, and I was super happy with their involvement. So I was like, I'm going to gift them beer.
Nice.
And she's a baker, so I'm excited to see when she checks into that.
Is the other one a candlestick maker?
I wish Hildy was a candlestick maker.
Wouldn't that be sweet?
So then I brought a bunch of 450 because my hotel room, I've got like a full kitchen and everything, so I've got a nice full fridge, and I knew that people were going to come over to my room, so I brought a bunch of 450s up, mainly for Seth and a couple other people. Friday night when we got back to the room, we went down to the hot tub, and then we took a cooler with us down there. They cleaned me out. This is the only 450 they didn't have, and they weren't inspired because it's a light, and they're like, well, we're not into a light.
We don't want that.
Cleaned me out of like not, the only one that I hadn't had was the peaches and cream. You said you went to Pat, so you would have saw the peaches and cream.
Well, they have peach cobbler, but I didn't see
peach cobbler. Yeah, peach cobbler.
Is that it?
Yeah. So that was one.
That looked good. I almost bought that.
Peach is a throwaway fruit. That one, we had that one as a pregame before on Friday, but cleaned me out. I had a bunch of other stuff too, and they didn't touch it. Cleaned me out of the 450s.
Peach can be good. It's not a throwaway fruit. It's just they've failed so hard lately. That Busch Light was so bad.
Throwaway fruit.
Is Busch Light going to do another fruit beer this year?
Yes. Well, we've got the letter.
Yeah, we got the letter. What are they bringing that Blapple back? Is that what it said?
Blapple back.
What it said. I was so enthralled with the letter itself that I didn't even listen to what the content was.
It's hanging up like 5 feet from you right now.
I can't see from here. I got bad eyes, and it's the lights shining on the glass because I framed it.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, I framed it. People asked me about it. When I hosted that movie premiere, they were like, "What is that? Is that really Anheuser-Busch?" I was like, "Nah," but could be.
It's a spur of the moment gimmick or whatever. Like 10 minutes before you got there on that episode, I came up with that.
The fact that you have a printer that will print within 10 minutes is great.
It's crazy how long it takes like printers to turn on. Like,
what's wrong with printers, man? They're like the most impossible thing in the world. That whole thing in Office Space, it's like so real. I finally got a printer though now that works.
Spoolers. I'll have to find. Is it an ink or a laser?
Laser.
Because the ink box that they send me, it's $15, and it's like that printer. My printer has 6 different cartridges, and it gives you 4 cartridges of each color in a little box, and it's $15.
That's a great deal. Mine's a laser printer. But what it does is, the problem I've always had was we've had 3 printers since we've been married, and none of them can do the fucking Wi-Fi printing. This one, what it does is, it's on
since
timer.
JT and I have been married, Chuggalos, when he says he means us. We've been married.
We've never had a printer that will just use the Wi-Fi feature. And this one, what it does is, instead of, because you don't use printers for months, and then all of a sudden you need a printer like 6 days in a row.
I know why. I know why it doesn't.
It jumps back on the Wi-Fi on a routine like every couple of hours, so it's ready.
It's an Apple product thing. It's 100% an Apple product thing.
No, it's not an Apple product thing.
Give me that printer.
Printers, dude. It's shitty printers. But this one's great. It's an HP LaserJet printer.
Yep.
It works great. It has a refresh rate, so it makes sure it's on the Wi-Fi every couple hours. And so when we go to print on my iPhone, boom, print, done. I print right now. Be done.
Do you leave your printer up all the time?
Apple. It goes into standby mode.
Oh, gotcha. I turn my printer off.
I don't just like leave it on, like where the lights are on and everything. No. It goes into standby mode, but then every couple hours it comes back on and says, I see the Wi-Fi. But it's not in a room where people are sleeping or anything.
I make fuck me money. JT makes fuck you money, everyone. So he can leave his printer on. Bougie.
Who's like actively turning their printer off? I've never met a person who's like, yep, I gotta turn my printer off. Did I leave? Are you on vacation? Like, did I turn my printer off?
I don't worry about that because when I'm done printing, we just turn it off.
Yeah, mine just goes into standby. It's like goes to sleep. Gotta get one that goes to sleep.
No, maybe it does. I just turn it off. It's like when I leave a room, I turn the lights off.
Turn the printer off. All right, fair enough. That's your thing. That's your prerogative.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
This beer is really good. There's like a fruit to it. It's got to be that.
Got to be that cold.
That unique German hop. I crave this.
Cold IPA.
And it comes in a pint can.
What does that mean?
Oh.
Don't boil it.
Right. Yeah. It's
Do you know? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. Chuggalo Svil brought it up on a cold IPA. It's just it doesn't get to that level. It's like almost steeped when they hop it.
That makes sense. Yes.
I may be talking out of turn there.
Steeping it makes sense for anything that's hopped on top.
Yeah. Ooh. Was this a Dr. Seuss podcast? Yeah. I like it. Hop on or
it's basically steeping it.
I
don't know. Did he think they dunk the hops in?
Yeah. I just lost what I was gonna say though. Fuck. There was something I was gonna.
You were gonna say.
Dang it.
Something about cold.
Lost it.
Hops.
I lost it. It was good too, probably. For us, it was inside.
You'll find it.
Hopefully it comes back to me. It was IPA related. Oh, yeah. Have you had Truth Bomb?
Truth Bomb, no.
Rheingeist. So Knowledge is their double. Truth Bomb is their Imperial.
Oh, okay.
It's good. It's no knowledge. It's no truth. So and then they changed truth should all be green in the Rheingeist blue. They changed this to it looks like the Cougar can. It's the blue and yellow. Rheingeist stuff, Chuggalos. So
Rheingeist stuff.
You'll see it. It's sorry, Stacey, it's in stores now. It's the Imperial variant of truth.
I went to a hobby show this weekend for the hobby that I do, and I wore a Rheingeist sweater, and that seemed to be what people just would say to me when I'd walk up to the table. They'd say Rheingeist, and I'd be like, "Yep, that was a beat. It happened. It must have happened 8 times."
That would make an excellent podcast right there. Rheingeist. Yep. Right. All right.
Yep. All right. And then just
we did it.
Nothing for an hour, and then Anyway, it was interesting. Yeah. So I mean, you've talked a little bit about
Don't you crave the raspberry in that?
I feel that this beer.
Raspberry, man.
I feel like this beer is doing maybe 4 or 5 things. I can't pinpoint all of them.
Yep.
But I know that there's multiple things happening, and I feel like only some of them are being done expertly well. They're all being done expertly. Let me say that. Well is the key word there. I feel like some of them are being done expertly in a way I dislike, but most of it is being done well. And I think if I had to guess, I'm not sure what they're using for glazed donuts. But if the 450 way is kind of like almost too literal.
Yeah.
If they're literally buying shitloads of glazed donuts from like Krispy Kreme and throwing them in there and letting them, and then, like sifting them out, I guess, or draining the beer without it. There's an interaction here that's happening between the raspberry jam or jelly, the glaze, if it's actual glaze, because it does taste, there is a hint of real glaze, sugar like glaze in this beer. I don't know about the donut part, but what's happening is there's like, it's almost like
what's happening?
Gosh, I can't even describe it. It's almost like it's syrupizing the raspberry.
I love these words.
Syrupizing the raspberry. It's giving it a much darker, almost like blackberry kind of flavor.
Luscious.
Super sweet. Luscious. Yeah, very luscious. It's kind of got that Luxardo feel to it, where it's much more like it's like a cased raspberry almost, where it's not immediately just like a juicy raspberry. It's more like mushy and I don't know, chewy. Yeah, chewy. This beer is man, I think I set my sights too high on this beer. I think I did. I messed up and did the thing that you're not supposed to do, which is convince yourself it's amazing before you drink it. You should never do that. Because now I'm thinking like, damn, it falls short a little bit. It's not my preferred. I had an image of what this beer was going to taste like in my head, and it didn't deliver that at all. But it's doing a lot of good things. It is really, man, if you like raspberries and you like just rich, what did you call luscious raspberry?
Luscious.
Dark, sugary, like raspberry jelly. This is your beer. If you want like a more fresh raspberry, more like a clean, crisp raspberry,
all
like
the raspberries,
eating one, like a real one, this isn't going to be for you. This is more for the person who's making raspberry sandwiches with jam, jelly. I don't know what do you make with raspberry jelly other than peanut butter and jelly?
I don't know if anyone said cheese, I want a raspberry sandwich.
A raspberry sandwich. A raspberry jelly sandwich. What do you use raspberry jelly for other than PB&J? I guess you could put it on cheese.
I've never had raspberry jelly. Raspberry jam, though, is thebomb.com.
It's thebomb.com. I'll remember that.
Because everyone knows the difference between jelly and jam. Jam is far superior, especially when you're trying to spread it.
I don't know the difference.
Jam is like fruit preserve and whole fruit, where jelly is like the sugarized version of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Always go with jam. Everyone prefers jam. Way different.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's like chunky peanut butter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Similar. Yeah. We'll call it.
Fruit on the bottom, like yogurt. Yogurt jam. That's my jam. I was on a peanut butter and jelly rampage recently, within the last year.
Yeah.
Peanut butter and jelly rampage would be a good beer name or episode name too.
That would be a great can too.
Beer name, yeah. Peanut butter and jelly rampage. Like, there was just a point. I'm obviously trying to get healthy for this cruise, but there was a point where I was just like, "Fuck it, I'm getting older. I want to eat some foods. What if I died tomorrow?" And
you want a raspberry sandwich?
Peanut butter and jelly. I would eat the shit out of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but I haven't had one in a while. That sounds good though, like the real fruit jam. Yeah.
Jam over jelly, always. My daughters won't eat jelly. They want jam.
Dude, this is it. This is why you got to have some wiggle room, not for yourself. Your standards can be high for yourself.
Yeah.
But this is why after 3 weeks, some people leave. Your standards are too high and they're too authoritative. Jam over jelly always. What if?
But I
at the
But I don't eat. I don't eat jam. I can count on one hand, how many times I have jam in a year.
Well, how many times do you have jelly in a year?
It could be the same hand combined.
Same hand. See, what if you're out to eat with a bunch of friends that you really enjoy their company, and just the thing you're eating, like toast, it just needs jelly, and all they have is jelly. It needs jam, but all they have is jelly. You're gonna eat jelly.
All this jelly and jam talk, I've got a joke. It's not appropriate for this part. It's not.
Oh, it's not appropriate?
It's very sexual.
Oh, all right. Why wouldn't it be appropriate?
All right.
People like sexual stuff.
Hey, JT, what's the difference between jelly and jam?
Be sure this is appropriate.
Yeah.
What's the difference between jam? Real fruit.
Yeah, no, I can't jelly my dick in your ass.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that is a sexual joke. Yeah. I'd recommend just telling that to your friends.
So JT's not my friend.
Don't bring that up with the strangers you've met at the bar.
Oh, that bar humor is the best.
All right. This beer, you want me to? I'll go. Here it is. Can art.
I sure hope so. You just talked about it for.
Well, you were talking about your beer. I thought we were just taking turns.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird when we're away. There it is. Can art. Homer Simpson donut
so good.
Right there.
Simple. You know what you're getting.
You know what you're getting. You're getting a donut, and it looks just like the Simpsons. Now, you're not getting frosted sprinkle donut. You're getting a glazed donut. Raspberry. This beer is good. I think it takes a special kind of person to like this beer as a 5.
Okay, no, I'm not a 5.
I don't know where you were on this beer. I actually have this beer a little. I just don't know the interaction. Something's happening in this beer that's making it less appealing. Gosh, I wish I could pinpoint what it is that I'm tasting. It's almost just like, it is. I mean, there's some really good stuff, but there's also some stuff I just don't like. What do I give this beer? I'm going to give this beer a, I'm going to give this beer a 3.25.
Interesting. Off the top rope, I was a 4.5 on that. Raspberry goes a long way. It's very sweet.
It's very sweet, but it's dark.
It's so good. Like
dark sweetness.
That's where I like a really robust. At York, they were telling me that Luxardo about how it coats your palate. That's why I like in my lambics. And even the people are like, oh, it goes down here. None of the lambics are super sour. They're not like the sours that we like.
Right.
But other people react to them differently, and it's fun and it's refreshing to engage civilians on what they drink when they're not used to drinking that, and they're like, oh my god, it's so I can't bitter beer face. Yeah. It's a very pedestrian beer.
I agree that raspberry is a S tier fruit in beer. This is what every time I drink a cherry beer that has these promises of richness, I feel like this is what you need to deliver. This and cherry would be god tier beer. I mean, that beer would be, if you do whatever you did here with cherries. Oh boy. All right.
So it's an IPA, so we're going in. It's a cold IPA, so we're going into the cold zone where it's so it's an ungimmicked IPA too, besides it being a cold. So it's super drinkable. It's a 7%. It just doesn't do a lot for me on that assertiveness of an IPA. This is a very easygoing, laid back IPA. It doesn't have that zest, that acridness that I'm typically after. Off the top rope, I'm going to give this a 4.0. This could be a daily drinker though. I like it. It comes in the pint can. I can't place, if I was better, I can't place all that earlier fruit that I was getting. But now that it's gone, just kibitzing back and forth with my my partner. We've been married. We've been dealing with printers for a long time. It's not there anymore, but it's still a good beer. And again, I'm super confident and comfortable with this at a 4.0.
4.0. You've had some good beers today. I've had some disappointment.
It's so just, and we've talked about this, and, we're beating the same thing. It's tough to push the envelope. We've had a lot of IPAs. Yeah. 45% of our beers we've had on the podcast together are IPAs.
Yep. Some of it's just catching you on the right day, during the advent calendar that I rated a 5, and I think I needed that beer. I needed that beer more than it needed me.
Right.
And I just was like, holy shit, this beer's great. 5. And I wonder what happened if I had it today.
Yeah.
Probably still a 5, because I don't lie.
5s don't lie.
5s don't lie. They got legs, But yeah. That's probably the lowest 450 North beer I've ever had.
Ooh, they've had some. That's the tough thing.
I haven't had a lot of bad ones.
That's the tough thing. I feel like we're in a dry spell with 450. We need to really be moved. Like that Donuts was a highlight out of the last few that I've had from 450.
I wonder if that peach cobbler's any good. It seems like something they'd do okay with.
I split that one with Seth. I don't want to ruin it for you. Like there's a signature to that beer.
Well, you guys a throwaway beer, or throwaway fruit, which hadn't changed from you drinking that beer.
It's not the fruit that does it. I will say this is going to be your hint. Cobra would hate that beer.
Really? They have coriander in it?
It's one of those things.
Oh, okay.
Even drinking with Sethicus, having that beer on Friday, even he was like, it's spiced up.
I don't like the spice. Yeah, I don't like the Christmas spice, the spice, whatever.
That's what
the jalapeno IPA at Pat's, and I was like, pass. Should have done it just for fun, but I didn't.
Just for you got to have them all,
just for funsies.
Do you? Because this is going to be like your swan song for a couple of weeks. Is there anything
we'll be out for a while
beer related that you saw from the Super Bowl that did it transition? Where are we with that? And we just got out of like the commercial holiday. So
the commercial holiday, yeah.
Well, that like I'm saying like Budweiser and all of that stuff. Like there's a lot of money in those advertisements.
Yeah,
I didn't see
$8 million for 30 seconds. I think they said that's fucking crazy. I did like Bud Light's commercial. I thought it was funny. I like Shane Gillis was the star. He, he delivers. It's his delivery. It's perfect. I did like Coors Light's commercial. I don't remember, but I remember seeing it and going, "That was a good commercial." I think I told my wife that. Most of the commercials were fucking terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know who. There are people making a career, a living out of like producing commercials that claim to know what people want, what's funny, all this other stuff. And I feel like if you're at the marketing agency and you make it to the Super Bowl team, you're the elite at the company. You're the marketing guru. You're the guy that they're going to in the emergency.
Yeah.
And these commercials are not funny at all. They needed serious rebranding.
So was the commercials down too, is what you're saying?
As a whole, the commercials were terrible. So we got a little bit of bathroom action going on here.
Bathroom action.
Oh man, that'll be great for the listeners. Let's see if we could hear it through the mic.
Nope.
I'll try to keep talking over it, but I can't guarantee anything.
Yeah, no, just keep it going. I can do both at the same time.
I don't remember seeing any Miller commercials. I don't give two flying shits about Peyton Manning and Eli Manning kicking a football. I know that was a thing for a couple of years with Gronk.
Did you watch it at all?
No.
I watched that. I bet on Eli. I won.
Who cares? Get rid of it. It's stupid.
But because I'm in Minnesota, ooh, look at that. Because I'm in Minnesota, I can't bet while I'm up here, and I got my VPN going. But
here's what I would like instead. When the Bears were in the playoffs with Mitch Trubisky and Matt Nagy, they did a double doink. If everyone remembers the double doink. After that, all the people who talk shit on the internet, Goose Island invited them downtown to Chicago to kick a 30-yard field goal. Hundreds tried, I believe, over 200 people, and no one made it. Not a single person. I think that's a little rigged because the conditions must have been terrible. Because come on, somebody's gonna make it. The high school kids can make that fucking.
Was this before? Was that 2016? Was this before the pod? Why? This is the first time I've ever heard this.
I was here. I was back here. It was 20. Let's say 18, maybe.
Early on in the pod.
Yeah.
Was that the skateboarding commercial where what was that? We ran out and got that beer. It was the gold can. I remember that beer. Man, white and gold. But we liked it.
Yeah, we liked it, but it's just there's no room for another daily drinker. I mean, how garage beer has broken through, I'll never know. But they have.
Persistence.
Yeah, it's just being in every fucking YouTube video. But yeah,
I'm going through the spreadsheet right now. So if I'm looking intently, I'm going through the spreadsheet.
No, it's fine. So what I prefer instead of this Manning thing or the Gronk kick, I would find people on the internet who talked shit over the past year. You got people you're paying to do this. Why I'm giving this advice away for free? You guys should pay me for this free marketing. Find people who talk trash. Show their tweet, then show them performing that task. Whether it's a 30-yard field goal, whether it's a touchdown pass, whatever it might be. That would be more interesting, and then people can bet on that. It would be interesting. Just, I don't know. The Mannings are great. I'm fine with the Mannings, but this oversaturation, they're losing me. They're losing me on that. But I'm over. There's too much oversaturation with football in general. All these talking heads and the debate shows and the ESPN 24/7. Who the fuck wants to watch that much of people talking about football? It's too fucking much. I don't get it. I guess it's their version of a podcast, but who wants to listen to that?
I think we just did it as a, I don't think we rated it because I just looked really quick. So the one thing is Eli made it from 20 yards and he would have made it from, but they had a couple of warm-ups. I think they started at 40 and then brought themselves in. But Pat McAfee during College Game Day did one where the kid won $800,000 for kicking a 30-yard field goal.
That's interesting because they're just normal people.
Yep, and he got college offers because he's from Indiana, but he goes to Georgia. It was a Georgia game.
Yeah,
but they're like, hey, come try out because that kid would have nailed it from 50. He's a soccer player.
Yeah,
like that's how we recruited kickers in high school football. We'd go to soccer.
It makes the most sense. Recruit a kicker. Soccer player.
But yeah, so there's something to be said about that. It's interesting. So besides Shane Gillis, not the beer, obviously it's a Bud Light, and he famously drinks Bud Light when he's out in public. Like that's his gimmick. He's got to be on the payroll.
Yeah, that was smart for them.
Yeah, a good pivot for them for Bud Light. That's for sure.
They needed it.
But still a terrible product. But
I don't. The horse thing is stupid too. But
Clydesdales?
I'm fine. It's fine.
I love
I get this tradition, but it's like the commercial was dumb as hell. It was like a young Clydesdale, and they're like, "Oh, you're not ready," and then keg falls off the cart, and the young Clydesdale who was said you're not ready, he like pushes it with his nose all the way to the bar, and it's like this beer's all fucked up now. You just bounced it around all the streets. I don't want it. Shook up shit. I don't know. And people are always like, the Clyde. I don't know. I think maybe I don't see like majestic things the way other people do. Like some people are like, oh, the Clydesdales, I saw them and it's just so beautiful. I'm like, it's a horse. And it's like horses are awesome, but like I don't get awestruck.
Yeah.
So to me, maybe I'm just different. It's built different.
Horses, are C tier for JT.
I think horses are cool. I think horses might be A tier for me. Not S tier, A tier. But like I'm not awestruck by them. I'm not awestruck by really much, except maybe a lion. I would be awestruck by that.
Yeah.
Tiger. And yeah, a bear. I had to say it. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I did want to say one thing about the game. I do think that yesterday proved that the Chiefs were not the caliber of team that they were sold to be.
Yeah.
A lot of times when this ref thing, I'm never on the side of the people who are like the refs, they hate us, or what's even more common is the announcers.
Oh,
the
announcers,
Oh, the announcers don't give a fuck about your team. They don't care about either team. The refs, though, typically I disagree, but I did watch the 2 playoff games with the Chiefs, and they did benefit consequentially from ref calls. Like touchdowns were scored because the refs made a call that was against the other team. I actually think that the Chiefs did not belong in the Super Bowl. They had no business being in the Super Bowl.
Interesting.
The Eagles
That's a hot take.
Absolutely embarrassed them. They embarrassed them. I mean, they had no business being in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
And had it have been a different team who maybe didn't benefit from ref calls, I mean, the NFL denying it is just so fucking ridiculous. They could deny that it's purposeful. Sure, it's not purposeful. These refs aren't trying to cheat, but they are making bad calls, and the results were because of bad calls. And the Chiefs should not have been in the Super Bowl. I just don't. Yesterday was an absolute embarrassment for them. It wasn't a loss. It was an embarrassment. The way that they lost, I mean, they didn't score any points in the first half, did they?
No, it was.
Yeah, I mean, that's fucking
I only looked at the box. I only looked at the box score. That's the only reason I know that.
That's insanely embarrassing. Come on. The defense was all over them. All these sacks. It was a shit show. Now, they did shut down Saquon Barkley, so I'll say. And
that's the only thing that they did.
But then they had all these receivers just wide open.
Yeah.
So, yeah. There was one where Antonio Brown caught the ball. I think it was a touchdown. There wasn't a guy 5 yards from him when he caught it. And that's the result of you trying to stop Saquon.
Yeah.
Like these teams, obviously, they're going to adjust. Chiefs had no answer. I like Patrick Mahomes, but I know everyone's like, fuck Patrick Mahomes. I actually started to subscribe to the idea that hating winning teams because they win, and believe me, I don't like the Yankees and their 27 World Series. But I think that if that's your reason, it's kind of a loser's mindset. Like, I like the underdog story, don't get me wrong. But, like, if a team is dominant, we want to look, let's think of it from a grander scale. The United States of America. If we win, 2 world wars, are we like, three-peat kind of sucks. That's not, no, we want to win. We want to be the dominant force in the world. You lose, it's pretty, it sucks a lot. But, yeah, same thing. I was starting to think, like, pick a team that you like first. If you don't like either team, like I didn't like either team in the Super Bowl, don't just hate them because they're good.
Oh, yeah. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Like,
yeah, hate the game. They figured it out. Patrick Mahomes, man, he could have been a Bears quarterback. God, that would have been awesome.
That's where Nort Dog said, everyone now, this is how Patrick Mahomes would have been if he would have been drafted by the Bears.
Oh, yeah, from that game. I didn't hear that. I didn't see that. Was that on Facebook?
Facebook, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
But you're right. Like, to surmise, like, they made them look extremely pedestrian. Like,
yeah, they did.
They were outclassed, everything. Like, it was 34-0 going into halftime or whatever ridiculous thing.
And some of it might be that they expected it. They expected to win, and they didn't put as much effort in. It's possible.
Or the NFL overcorrecting and just telling, hey,
I thought about that too.
We're gonna lose the conspiracy theory theorist in us.
I thought about it because there was one play where Hopkins didn't really try at all to catch a ball. I mean, he barely stuck his arm out.
Yeah, and he was a huge disappointment for them an acquisition.
Yeah, I was like, that play right there makes me feel like maybe this game's a little rigged.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's a conspiracy. Why would they do that? These are teams. They're playing each other. Athletes don't want to lose. These guys are athletes, top tier.
Yep, S tier.
They're playing to win.
S tier athletes.
Yep, Super Bowl tier. What about you? Any thoughts on the Super Bowl? Commercials, beers, companies?
Didn't watch.
Branding, marketing?
I saw a little bit. I think it was on in the bar when I was talking to new friends. And then I was back, and seriously, my head hit the pillow at like 6:50.
Oh, yeah. Sweet.
All right. So
I've got my thoughts.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to offer. It's just, again, at a $7 million or $8 million price point for 30 seconds, you really price out like any kind of craft brewer. Coronado, was that the name of the brewery? Anyways, I'm still trying to. I can picture the can because we all went and bought it. It was a fine beer. They just went bankrupt immediately after. But I don't feel like I missed that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like, oh my God, like I don't have FOMO.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I actually wasn't gonna watch it, but then Katie said she wanted to watch it.
Yeah. I called my wife on the way home, and you guys are an hour ahead right now, and she's like, "Yeah, it's something."
Yep. I'm gonna find that beer.
I want to say it's athletic. I know it's not athletic, but
it's not. Oh, what was that beer with the Super Bowl commercials?
And the skateboarding and
it had to be 2017. Yep, I won't find it, and I don't want to waste our viewers' time.
That's why I was trying to do it, and then like my Excel, the Excel spreadsheet's like corrupted because I unplugged stuff and whatever. So I'm just in a world of freaking hurt right now. So,
man, what was that beer? Dang it! I don't know, but it was gold something. I remember that.
Yeah,
you're right. It was like gold
and white can.
Gold bottle. The viewers love this. They're like into it.
Yeah, they're craving it.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna find it, so we'll just put it somewhere else in the comments, maybe.
Yep.
That's it. That's all I got.
I mean, it's going to be February. We knew months out was going to be an interesting month, and I think this is a home run. We made it work.
It's a home run. Next 2 weeks I'm out, so enjoy Matt and whatever he has, in store for the Chuggalos.
Back in Ohio, baby.
Watch on the ship's amazing Wi-Fi, and then off to Utah for me, and hopefully they got good Wi-Fi. I'll just use 5G at that point.
It's going to be the best.
Yeah. Excited. That's it. That's episode 316. Bye.